Today on Mission
Unknown.
We're here at the wonderful, almost fully restored Wildwood Sanatorium, which the owner, Lori, was gracious enough to give us a tour and let us take a look and stay here for the night. So we're going to go in, we're going to go over some history stuff. We're going to cover a lot of what other groups have found here and what we're going to find here. And we're hoping to get some evidence of the paranormal.
Yeah, it seemed we've heard plenty of stories on here, so this is going to be, look forward to this all month.
So why don't you come with us as we go on another adventure.
Welcome to the Wildwood Sanitarium.
As you can see from our entranceway here, there's been a lot of paranormal groups here. A lot of fantastic people have
Everybody
come through and done investigations, so you can go online and find out a lot about that. But we're going to add our name and hopefully our famous signatures to it.
Scribbles.
But this is it. This is the sanitarium that was started by Dr. Hendricks and Dr. Perry. And we actually have some photos of them, and we'll take a look at them. So here at Wildwood, we're in the first entrance room, which does showcase Dr. Henderson and Dr. Carol Perry. Now, these were osteopathic doctors, so they believed in a lot more a holistic approach to help heal those in the community who suffered from pretty severe issues.
Drug addiction, alcoholism, mental illness, pretty much that type of thing.
And at that time, medical science was not quite where it is today. So they had crazy ideas like there was a sunlit tube where you could go in and get baked by
the sun.
giant light bulbs. There was also the electro
bath, which is a electricity through bathwater, as the name says.
Doesn't sound like a good bath time area, fun time to me. So, but they did a lot of things like that. They didn't. They thought it would be beneficial to the patient. So, fast forward to the 1920s, TB or tuberculosis is running rampant through the country, and
It was like a hot spot around here too in Salamanca.
Correct. So even though they were forced to take in TB patients, the sanitarium eventually closed. But one of its claim to fame was it was actually one of the first osteopathic hospitals in the state of New York. So I thought that was pretty.
Yeah, that was pretty
really
cool.
interesting. We got a lot more history to get to, and we have a lot more rooms to explore. So
Got 3 floors and many rooms.
And there's coffee in here. We're gonna go have some of that and then keep going. Dr. John Henderson and Dr. Carol Perry, both doctors of osteopathic medicine, met while in college in the early 1900s. Becoming fast friends, the pair transitioned from Kirksville, Missouri, back to Western New York to start their very own clinic, naming it the Sunnyside Sanitarium, which opened its doors in 1906. The sanitarium was advertised as the only osteopathic infirmary in the state. It was not a fashionable resort, but a place to heal. A sign located on the property, dated 1909, reads, "The sanitarium and bathhouse is now open for the treatment of all conditions except infectious and contagious diseases. We have endeavored to make the conditions inside the house as pleasant as possible, and will try to give each patient individual attention." Both doctors had their own separate medical practices, but wanted to use the progressive new treatment of holistic and osteopathic medicine to treat their patients at the sanitarium. Aided by their nurses, Bertha, Agnes, and Sue, they healed those suffering until after the tuberculosis epidemic, by then both men moving on to other professional endeavors, leaving Sunnyside behind them. This is the first room on the first floor besides the entryway, and here we actually have the mirror that was showcased on Paranormal Lockdown on Destination America, which is Nick Groff's show. So the mirror fell off the wall while they were doing the investigation. So this is the actual mirror from that, which is extraordinarily interesting. So we're just going to kind of run through and do a baseline EMF sweep just to see if we get anything, and then we're going to do some EVP sessions as well.
In the meantime, on mine, I have a temperature gun.
Is anyone here with us? My name is Tom, that's Mike, and that's J.W. Flessel over there. You'd like to say anything? I know you get a lot of visitors. We'd love to hear from you. Did you die here from tuberculosis? Is anyone here with us? Who's the name of the person who knocked down the mirror? Dr. Perry or Dr. Henderson, are you still here in the clinic? Can you tell us anything about osteopathic medicine? We don't know about it. We'd love to learn more. Maybe get in good shape. How many patients did you lose here from the scourge of tuberculosis? Who fell down the stairs?
Can you say any of our names?
Did you take part in any of the treatments here in the basement or elsewhere? Again, this is Tom, Mike, GW. Can you tell us your name?
How long have you been here?
Did you like practicing medicine? Is there anyone here besides Dr. Perry or Dr. Henderson, potentially, that would like to show a sign of their presence? A few gaunt, filthy men sit around a small table, playing cards. They are wearing disheveled clothing, all dressed similarly to each other, and one of them is humming softly to himself, glancing back and forth at the others. BAM! The man with the beard slams a card down and begins hooting, jumping up and down. Others in the large room begin to yell, scream, or laugh in fits. A woman in a wheelchair stares blankly out the window, her breath fogging the cold, dark glass. This depressing characterization may conjure thoughts of a mental asylum, or perchance, a sanitarium. This room, supposedly, a boy named Tommy still remains and lingers. Tommy was a boy who died in the area, and his grave is actually around here. There was a picture of him in the basement when the owners took over and they found it. They're not sure if it's him, but it's a picture of a boy. And we'll do a quick EVP and see what we can get, right, Mike?
See what we can do.
Tommy, can you hear us? My name is Tom as well, and that's a Quinky Dink. Do you still like to play with any of the toys in the room? What's your favorite toy here? Does Mike scare you? He scares me.
I'm super scared. Maybe move this rocking guy a little bit.
It's a horse.
So what we're doing in here is we have a REM pod cat, because apparently Tommy that loves this room also loves cats. So Tommy, if you're interested in meeting up with us, you can come pet the nice kitty. The closer you get to petting the cat, the more noises it makes. A little close, then just go come pet the cat.
And then I also over here have a floor meter, and we have a spirit box going, so we can try and do that. So Tommy, can you hear us?
We brought this cat up here right for you. Come give him a little pet. He's good, kitty.
You like to play with any of the toys in the room? Show us which one you like. Can you move the cat around? He really would like to play with you.
It's Halloween, you should be out trick-or-treating. You should come trick-or-treat right to the spirit box and give us and say hi. This puppeteer looks fun, you should make a move.
We were hoping you were going to play with the cat with us. JW loves cats. Why don't you move it over by him? He's lonely in the hallway. Is anyone in this room?
You can talk right into my friend Tom's machine here, or mine right down there, and they're with their little buddies.
Can you move any of the keys on the typewriter?
Which toy in here is your favorite?
So far we've swept 3 or 4 rooms. This room, as you can see, they're in the process of trying to restore and fix and do what they can to get the house back to its, former glory. Now let us explore another descriptive scene for your mind to coalesce. a large Victorian-era manor and grounds in the brisk mountain air of the Adirondacks. The wraparound porch is dotted with copious amounts of lounge chairs, men and women alike wrapped in blankets, resting as the cool breeze brushes them with air so pure it's soothing to their scarred lungs. Nurses and aides attend to the patients, many of whom are wheezing or coughing, whilst others sleep, or some are merely attempting to eat a meal amidst bouts of barking coughs. This picturesque environment should also bring to the mind's eye the term sanitarium, and as well it should, for this was the true purpose behind the creation of these institutions: to heal, recover, and yet live on despite being afflicted by one of the deadliest pestilences to scourge the world: tuberculosis. Let us explore one of these sanitariums, which is located in southern western New York in the city of Salamanca. This looming stone building, once a center of healing, serves as a beacon of paranormal activity for those adventurous enough to enter its doors. But to understand the present, we must first look to the past. The sanitarium movement began in the early 1900s by individuals who had reportedly cured their tuberculosis infection by employing a natural cure-all which consisted of fresh mountain air, exercise, rain baths, and abundant feeding regimes of healthy foods. The movement was further perpetuated forward by the increased urgency in the tuberculosis epidemic. The sanitarium was often a place where patient life was strictly structured and all aspects of daily living dictated by its administration, which allowed for the extremely contagious population to be secluded and not contaminating the general population any further. It also satisfied the reformist movement of the time, as patients were not normally allowed alcohol, drug, or tobacco usage. So in this room, Lori, during our tour, was telling us that unfortunately, somebody who visited the Wildwood quite a bit actually, and really enjoyed this room and doing different activities in here, committed suicide. So one of the things that we were going to try and do is see if he was still here, and there's been reports that people can pick up his name when they do EVPs. So Jeremy, if you're here with us, we'd love to hear from you. Why did you like coming here so much?
Do you mind that we're here?
Is there anything you'd like to say? So we're going to do a spirit box session here, ask a few questions, and also in the dollar room we have the Brent pod set up, and also we have the cat with the motion sensor in the other room. So we've got pretty much a really good spectrum set up here. We can hopefully get some activity.
Yeah, this is where they do a lot of their seances. That's why it has all this stuff on the table here.
All right. Is anyone here in the room with us? We'd love to know your name. Dr. Perry, Dr. Henderson, are either of you with us on this All Hallows Eve? We'd love to hear more about your medicine practice here. How many lives did you save here through your clinic with your osteopathic therapies?
you a reverend as well, Dr. Henderson?
Anything you'd like to say to us?
We came a long way to talk to you.
After we finished the first floor investigation, we took a break in the other room before moving upstairs to investigate those rooms. In the meantime, during our break, we decided to leave our static dome device on the stairs to see if it picks anything up. Now, the Vortex Dome is a device that is triggered by static or triboelectric fields. Its internal antenna can pick up static fields that are not visible to the human eye as far as 3 feet away. Once the device is triggered, it sets off the 8 colored LEDs in the direction the charge came from. Now, there are plenty of different theories out there in the paranormal community. One is that there are 2 kinds of static, that which is a natural part of the environment and that which is unnatural. Naturally occurring static may facilitate paranormal intensity by adding energy into the environment. Paranormal static may be the byproduct of whatever causes the entrance of the paranormal phenomena into our environment.
Actually, Tom, for people who don't know, can kindly explain what we're doing now, back in the Oracle room, as I'm calling it now.
That's a good name for it. So this is the Necrophonic app, and what it does is it takes any kind of noise in from the microphone that any spirit or energy can release, and it's going to hopefully use it to answer our questions. Now, there's a lot of devices out here like this. It does run off a sound bank, so these apps I'm a little on the skeptical side, but I guess we can see what we can get and see what we can do. So let's ask a few questions here.
And just real quick before we begin, so everybody understands where that joke came from, is rewatch the first episode where we said see what we can do probably about 47 times.
So now it's our new favorite saying, because we are seeing what we
now
can
we're
do.
doing it on purpose, which is it.
Just to add a little humor to the show. But anyway, so the Necrophonic. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Set.
Why don't you want to talk to us? Can you ring the bell or make the sand move? Is your name Jeremy? We can turn it off, yeah. Sit here for a moment, because...
So while Tom's having a little rest-a-rooney, I'm walking around this second floor now. We just got Tommy's room. And then I'll give you guys a sneak preview of a room that you can barely see in, but that is many dollies.
So this is the infamous doll room, where they've actually had quite a bit of activity here, reportedly both by the owner and other groups. So it's quite interesting, and as you can see, there's a lot of dolls.
And this is the room, when I was looking at the pictures, that kind of scared me the most. Because look at these things. Look at these dolls. It's scary. Spooky even.
We'll do a quick EVP. Anybody in the room? Can you make one of the dolls move?
Just not that one. That one I think I accidentally turned on earlier, and it gave me quite the scare.
Mic creaking the forward. Repositioning. Can you make the ball roll?
Which of these dolls on the floor was your favorite? Maybe move it a little so we know. We know which one you cherish the most.
Dr. John Henderson and Dr. Carol Perry, both osteopathic doctors who met while in college, opened the Sunnyside Sanitarium. Advertised as the only osteopathic infirmary and the first and only osteopathic institution in the state of New York, the young doctors offered a variety of treatment to their patients. Sunnyside did not accept patients suffering from infectious or contagious diseases, but instead took in persons afflicted with addiction to drugs and alcohol, or those taken with mental illness. The doctors, both graduates of the American School of Osteopathy in Kirksville, Missouri, believed in holistic treatment for their patients and went so far as to inform other doctors in the area they would pay them $15 for a referral to Sunnyside, so confident in their course of treatment they both were. Osteopathic medical training recognizes that the body is inherently capable of healing itself, though it must constantly fight physical, emotional, and chemical, plus nutritional stressors to maintain a state of wellness. The training emphasizes helping each person achieve a high level of wellness by focusing on health promotion and disease prevention. In the early 19th century, medical science was quite far from what we know it today. The treatments offered at hospitals and sanitariums would be considered foolhardy and dangerous by today's medical standards. Light therapy, or phototherapy treatments as they were sometimes called, began in the late 1800s and were used extensively as a treatment for tuberculosis in many sanitariums during the early 1900s.
Alright, so I stupidly decided that I needed to be in a room by myself, do a little solo adventure, and that camera just died. In, of course, the doll room, which anyone that knows me, these dolls are super creepy. But we have our REM pod here, and how that works is kind of the closer something gets, it'll kind of go off by color-coded of how close it is. And the sound will get more intense. So we're going to ask a few questions and see if we can get something on there. I'm going to sit in between all these lovely dolls. So let me pop this light off. Is there anything in here with me? If you are, come close to that little light up pod over there. You can let me know your presence. Just me and my dolls having a good time. That camera's dead. I really, really don't want to ask, but can you make that doll move again? Should be on for motion, so go ahead and make that thing light up. Right over there by the chest set. Either mess with the REM pod there, see how close you can get, make it light up, or this horrid, creepy doll that says creepy things. Sure you don't want to say anything? I'm right here in this doll room. They got me in here. Sure you don't want to play with any of these dolls? Let us know which one's your favorite. Make the one move. Yeah, I think we all just made friends in here now. They all welcome me. We're all just good friends in here now. Just hanging out, having a good time.
After Mike's solo investigation, we decided to leave a REM pod and a recording device in the doll room to see if anything gets picked up after Mike left. We ended up hearing a lot more than we expected.
We're here in the doll room. We have the REM pod in and 2 night vision Go Arlo Pro cameras, so we're going to see what we can get, and I'm going to leave the camera in here. You may hear us in the other room because we're also going to be doing a spirit box session, but this is the secondary doll room after Mike's investigation.
Do you like that we're here? Did you like that I was sitting in that doll room by myself? Was it hilarious?
Supposedly, there is a grumpy old man on the 3rd floor. I'm not sure. Can you recall if it was in this room or in the other room?
Want to say this room. I think it was this room.
So we're gonna.
I will admit, when I first walked into here, when we first came in, even now, like it's a lot more of a heavier feeling. Like the air feels heavy on you. Up here more so than in any of the other floors we've been in so far. But that was a noticeable thing when we first got here, and I'm still feeling it every time we open that door to get up here.
And it's interesting because as you're watching your favorite paranormal ghost investigation show, you hear them say that, and you're like, who knows? It could be yay, nay, who knows what they're feeling. But when you're actually on site in live and investigation, you can really actually kind of feel it. But we'll do a quick session here and continue on down. Grumpy old man, can you say anything to us? We know you get a lot of questions, and we'd love to hear from you.
Why is the air so heavy down here, up here?
Did you pass away here? Can you make the lights flicker in the doctor's office? Physicians learned that prolonged exposure to various types of light could hinder and even kill certain bacteria that could cause disease amongst children. Children were encouraged to spend as much time as possible outdoors to absorb the sun's healing rays and kill any potential bacteria on the skin. Sunlight, not readily available at all times, forced artificial means to be invented to continue light therapies. The Finsen lamp, invented by Danish physician Niels Finsen, was an ultraviolet light that Finsen believed had an effect on body tissue that had been attacked by bacteria. Finsen followed the research of a Swedish scientist who had experimented with UV light several years prior. Finsen utilized concentrated beams of ultraviolet light in the treatment of patients suffering from lupus vulgaris, a skin disease caused by tuberculosis. Finsen went on to write several scientific papers on the subject and even opened his own light therapy center in Copenhagen, and also won the Nobel Prize in Psychology and Medicine in 1903. Dr. Henderson and Dr. Perry utilized this type of treatment to heal their patients at Sunnyside, but this was not the only prescribed therapy regimen in their arsenal. Imagine slipping into a nice, warm mineral bath. The lights turn low, and the sound of the phonograph as it plays in the background. Ah, relaxing. Now send 10 volts of current through that bath water, exhilarating. Introducing hydrotherapy, or electrotherapy, a cure-all for back pain, rheumatism, spondylitis, inflammatory arthritis, joint problems, migraines, and much, much more. This was a very popular treatment in the early 1920s and went by numerous names: hydrotherapy, electric battery bath, and even Franklinization as it was called. But the process was similar in all regards. Immerse the patient in a conductive water solution, which typically held a mineral composition, and introduce electrical currents into the water ranging from 3 volts all the way up to 10 volts. The hydroelectric bath treatment was so popular, clinics began opening up across several major cities in the United States. The Sylvan Electric Baths opened in Brooklyn in the late 1800s. The clinic touted that its baths were more beneficial than hot springs and could cure you of gout, rheumatism, sciatica, and nervous diseases. The benefits of a mineral bath had long been known by this time, but to take it a step further in the treatment, electric current was introduced into the water, stimulating the organs back to health, opening pores and flushing out toxins, or so Sylvan and many other clinics at the time claimed.
Alright, so I'm recording in the 3rd floor room by myself, because that's a fun thing to do apparently. I got the UV camera, we got some night vision cameras. I also have the cat there, hopefully you can see it. It does have motion detection capability, so do a few EVPs and sessions and see if we can pick up anything. Is anyone here in the room with me? My name's Tom. We're here just to investigate and learn more about you, if you can say anything to us. Are you able to make the cat over there move? If you go near it, it'll light up as a sign of your presence. Were you a patient here? Did you die in the house? In the upstairs here on the 3rd floor? We're going to be trying a spirit box section in here, because there's supposed to be like a grumpier older man that lives up here that doesn't take kindly to people. Not sure if it's the same guy that was in the room I was staying in, or what. But we're gonna see if anything can happen in here. Anybody here with us on the 3rd floor? We hear there's a grumpy old man up here. What's your name? Don't be shy, it's Halloween. Time for a trick or treat.
Are you happy up here?
Can you give us a sign of your presence? Close the door, slam the door, make a bang. We're here during the terrible tuberculosis outbreak in Salamanca. Thank you for putting up with us. We're just trying to learn some more about you and the history of the home.
Like I said in the first episode, teach lessons awkwardly.
Who fell down the stairs here?
I felt a really, really heavy feeling up here almost the entire evening. Is that you? Feels like the air is really heavy. Are you the one doing that?
The Bad's core clientele were women who suffered from what was popularly then called nervous diseases. These included hysteria, fainting spells and headaches, depression, hypochondria, and various other neuroses. Medical opinion was that a woman's delicate nature combined with city living brought these types of conditions on. Regular sessions at the Bads could cure it, or so said their advertising. However, it didn't always work. By the 1920s, the Bads were offering all kinds of treatments. You could get the spa bath as always, but you could also be treated for various ailments by being baked, massaged, or wrapped in electric blankets. You could even have a colonic cleanse should you wish. But the baths and clinics were not the safe treatment that some physicians, and even clinic owners, would have had the public believe.
Grumpy old man, are you in this room with us?
Oops.
Can you make the bed or the sheets move? Did you use a wheelchair when you were alive? Similar to the one sitting right here.
Are you the one that painted these walls and ceilings, these albeit nifty colors? Looks kind of cool. I approve. Are you the man in this picture? So against my better judgment, I decided to lay in this bed in this side room here and try this spirit talkie thing. What was I? Oh. in here with me.
Yep.
I thought I heard you say, yep, what's your name? Does it bother you that I'm in here? Blue? Were you the one that painted the ceilings like this? You want us up here with you on this third floor? Call me a nerd.
So, there's an app for everything, and we have 3 new ones that we're trying out. One was the Necrophonic, which you saw previously. This one is akin to the SP-B11 Spirit Box, which Mike and I are very, very big fans of. So we're going to try this.
And I know why people are watching this show. I know why. I'm just giving what the audience wants here.
Dr. Perry or Dr. Henderson, are you here with us? There's the grumpy old man still on this floor. Can you say anything through this device? Can you give us a sign of your presence? Can you explain what osteopathic medicine is?
What do you think of all this medical stuff in here?
Right here, Mike. Right here, Mike.
Do you know our names? Sylvan was sued on several occasions for injuries. One such patient was Henry Apple of Ridgewood. Henry suffered from rheumatism and went to receive treatment at Sylvan. He was left in a light therapy bed for an extended period of time, and the heating treatment severely burned his legs. He won his lawsuit and was awarded $2,000, an almost kingly sum at that time. Poor treatment and provided care, suicides, and other malfactory events forced Sylvan to close up shop, even after rebranding themselves as the Sylvan Therapeutic Institute, successors to the Sylvan Electric Baths of Schmierenhorn Street, Brooklyn. They closed permanently in 1933. Dr. Henderson and Perry utilized electric battery baths, one of the several types of various named electric bath treatments. A few other forms widely used at the time were the galvanic bath treatment. In this treatment, gentle electric waves and water were used together. Doctors used to make the patients lie in the water that was heated up to 34 degrees Celsius. Then the electric currents were gently passed through the patient's system. This type of treatment was more useful for ailments like inflammatory arthritis and joint problems or issues.
No, the guy said
Alright, we have made it to the basement. Now, ironically, if you look at this specific message, Halloween tomorrow, and the ironic thing is, Halloween is tomorrow in like 10 minutes. It'll be Halloween. So happy Halloween, everybody. We are officially now down in the basement, as you might have guessed. Not just any kind of basement. It has some remnants of their therapy they used to do here. We've got like an ice bath. There's the bathtub.
Yeah, there was all kinds of different osteopathic and holistic treatments that they thought at the time were extraordinarily beneficial, like the electric bath or the electro bath, which we're going to do a little bit more on later. I mean, you can tell by some of the pictures here that we'll try and showcase some of the treatments were slightly odd, but they thought it would have worked, but it didn't.
It did not at all.
So
You'll be seeing me in there later on. I already took pictures, but we'll be
close
doing
on though.
Yeah, close on. Unfortunately for YouTube standards.
So we'll do a quick EVP in here. We have recorders in practically all the rooms, and we'll just do a couple quick sweeps, and then we'll get to the nighttime, dark time.
This is all fun and games.
So, is anyone down here in the basement with us? Tom, Mike, and JW are here. Can you say anything? Move anything? Can you make one of these balls on these red Solo cups move? Mike moving mark.
The one on the left looks like it's already kind of toward the edge.
Just gonna give it a little push.
Yeah, just a little shove.
Were you a former patient here and had some of the treatments done on you by Dr. Perry or Henderson? Did you die in a treatment here? Or did you die from tuberculosis?
Were you subjected to one of the electro baths that they had right here? You can even see the creases on the floor where they used to do that treatment.
Alternatively, patients could be treated to a full body immersion therapy. The patient's body would be completely submerged in the water and stimulated with electrical currents. Or there were 4-chamber galvanic bath systems, which theoretically improved blood circulation and also minimized pain for rheumatoid arthritis sufferers. Each bath had its own electrical current setting, which varied wildly from sanatorium to sanatorium. For example, in the 4-chamber galvanic bath treatment, the current was much stronger because of the large skin area exposed to the current in each of the baths. In 1923, the city forced the doctors to turn the sanitarium into a tuberculosis hospital. Throughout the decade, it became widely understood that tuberculosis was not a congenital condition, but in fact, highly contagious. A quarantine experiment, tuberculosis sanitariums became common throughout the United States, and most patients were prescribed fresh, cold air, which was believed to be an effective treatment to soothe the lungs. Patients' chairs and even their beds were moved outdoors or on sanitarium porches to aid in this type of treatment. By the turn of the 20th century, 1 in 7 Americans had perished from the disease, and hope would not come in the form of a cure until antibiotics were invented in 1943.
Overall, this has been a very awesome experience. Just everything we experienced, and I'll say experience 18 more times. Everything we saw, we heard. We definitely heard a lot of stuff where I'm excited to go over all this footage.
Absolutely. So let's get started with our spirit box session here. Dr. Henderson or Dr. Perry, are you here with us? Dr. Henderson, did your patients enjoy the therapies you offer down here in the basement? Did you like that they forced you to open the tuberculosis clinic during the outbreak in Salamanca? Can you move one of the balls that are on top of the red Solo cups? We have a little device there that'll show us you're here.
Yes or no if you think I could fall asleep on this thing right now.
It's almost Jason's birthday. He needs a hug. Can you hug him? He's sitting in that chair right over there next to the kitty.
Tom would like a hug too. He's very huggable.
Dr. Henderson and Dr. Perry operated the sanitarium until their deaths in 1941, and Henderson's family continued to own the property until 1946. By the 1950s, tuberculosis was no longer considered a major public health threat, and sanitariums in general were either demolished or converted over to hospitals. Wildwood has changed owners several times after the sanitarium closed its doors and both doctors had passed. Their current owner, Lori, has extensively researched the history of the building, which has been quite difficult to piece together. Records of previous owners, especially after Dr. Henderson's family sold the property, are nearly impossible to locate. The building exchanged several hands and was eventually turned into apartments for rent, but that did not last longer than the late 70s. The building stood vacant for an unspecified amount of time, and by happen chance, Lori, whose friend informed her the building was for sale, looked into purchasing the property. So Mike's here laying on the slab that is direct from a funeral home that was donated to the sanitarium here.
Laying right on it.
He's bravely
giving a show.
laying on it. And 2 seconds ago, the K2 meter was going off slightly and nothing was near it. So we're going to do a quick EVP session here. Can you say something to Mike? Or move the table he's on?
Do you like that I'm on this funeral thing?
Did you take part in any of the treatments down here in the basement of the sanitarium? Did those treatments hurt you? What kind of food did you enjoy eating here at the sanitarium?
Did you also want a pizza that Tom was really hell-bent on getting? Can you make a clang sound on this board I'm laying on like that?
Can you tilt the table so Mike goes boom?
Give the audience what they want.
Well, I think that'll just about wrap it up for our initial sweep, EMF readings, and EVP session. And I think we're gonna go have a coffee break and then get started on
Starting the nighttime stuff. Take a little break. Maybe I'll take a nap on this here table.
We'll wait upstairs, you stay there.
I'll stay in this
Ready, GW?
haunted basement.
Oh, I'm ready.
A few moments ago, it seemed like you made your presence known. Can you tell us who you are that came through?
We saw you playing with the kitty a little bit earlier. You want to try petting him again?
Did somebody die in a fire? Was a patient here burned?
Like here.
Are you down here with us?
Can you go near the cat? It wants to be petted. What was the therapy you were taking part of while you were here? Did somebody die here a long time ago from TB? The cat's awful lonely over there. Did you find rest here at Sunnyside? Did Dr. Perry and Henderson cure your disease or your ailment with their holistic medicines? Do you want us to go? Rumors of the house being haunted and the threat of the building being torn down motivated her to purchase the sanitarium in 2017. Since then, Lori and her husband have worked tirelessly to restore and repair the house, making significant progress towards that goal. Wildwood stands as a testament to the opportunistic healing using unconventional means that surged in the early 20th century. Many patients once traversed the halls and rooms at Wildwood, seeking the remedies of Dr. Perry and Henderson, or tragically passing during the tuberculosis epidemic that ravaged the country and the world. Yet some of them have remained, tied to the house due to tragedy, loss, or suffering. Perhaps during your visit, some of them may even come out to play. Well, we've wrapped up our time here at Sunnyside Sanitarium.
Wildwood.
Well, it was known as that back in the day. So
Currently Wildwood.
Just got to read the history a little bit, but
Never. And it's 5:55, so we are right about 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
we've about 12 hours.
We've spent a lot of time in the home. We've heard things. We've experienced some things, and I can honestly say I think we've been a little on edge and frightened today.
Yeah, one of the rooms, especially upstairs, besides the doll one, obviously, just got me really, really uncomfortable every time we were in there. So that'll be an interesting one to check out all the footage we got.
And we tried debunking anything that we got, that we've captured. So we've gone through and we'll put some more of that in our evidence and final footage once we get that out to everybody. But again, we like to thank you for viewing us. And we want to make sure we thank Lori and her husband from Wildwood Sanitarium because they have been absolutely fantastic. And we really hope that if there's anyone out there who is willing to make a donation for this wonderful project to be fully restored, and so more people can come here and other groups can experience the fun and the excitement and the somewhat terrifying adventure that we had.
Yeah, we got some good stuff.
Good stuff. So on that note, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and please join us next time on Mission
Unknown.